Nigeria now has a new national anthem. President Bola Tinubu signed into law a bill to revert to the old national anthem, which was dropped in 1978. At the National Assembly, Tinubu said the change signals the rebirth of a nation. He asked Nigerians to chart their own path to prosperity. Arise correspondent Umeh Bazwahi tells us more.
After so much back and forth about whether or not President Bola Tinubu would be at the National Assembly, the president steps into the hallowed chamber of a joint sitting at exactly 12:22 p.m. The president takes the center stage as Nigeria's old national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee, rent the air. Tinubu had moments before signed the national anthem bill passed on Tuesday by the National Assembly into law, effectively returning Nigeria to the old national anthem at the country's independence in 1960.
Henceforth, we will not refer to ourselves as just mere compatriots. We will refer to ourselves as brothers. And as we go forth in battle, whether on the field of sports, in the field of politics, in economic endeavors, we must hail Nigeria.
Standing before Nigerian lawmakers, Tinubu officially unveils the new national anthem, ending 46 years of saluting the nation with "Arise, O compatriots." According to Tinubu, the new national anthem marks a new beginning for Nigeria.
You rang out the latest national anthem. Nigeria will heal thee. See, this is our diversity. Representing all characters. And how we blend together to be brothers and sisters.
Tinubu shares the vision of a glorious future for Nigeria with the federal lawmakers, charging them to build the nation. He said Nigerians must be prepared to chart their own path to prosperity, stressing that no amount of foreign aid or support from outside can turn around their fortunes if they are not prepared to put in the hard work.
No amount of aid that may be coming from foreign countries or any other nation, they take care of themselves first.
Joining us now is Senator Victor Umeh of the Labour Party, who is representing Anambra Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly. Good morning, Senator Umeh, and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you. Good morning for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Well, Senator, thank you for joining us. One of the major criticisms about Nigeria by Lee Kuan Yew in his book From the Third World to the First, talking about when he visited West Africa, was that he found a situation in Nigeria where the parliament makes laws just to serve an individual purpose. And there are Nigerians who are now saying that this reversion to the old national anthem is a law that the National Assembly made just to please the president. Because in 2022, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had said, oh, if he had his way, he will revert to the old national anthem. And then he brought a bill before the National Assembly, an executive bill. That's why it was presented, I guess, by Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, who is Senate majority leader. And then within a week, both the House of Reps and the Senate just rubber-stamped it. And many Nigerians are outraged. Many Nigerians are saying, how is that the major priority for a National Assembly should be more worried about practical issues of good governance? Half of members of the National Assembly yesterday, in fact, almost all of you, could not sing the national anthem. The same national anthem that you reverted to, most of you could not sing it. So please, if you could just help us clarify how it came that in 1 week, the National Assembly thought reverting to the old national anthem is Nigeria's most important, urgent matter of national importance. Senator, are you with us?
I do not expect that. I'm with you.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, please
Hello?
go ahead. Please go ahead, Senator.
Hello, Ruben.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Ruben. Thank you. That any act of parliament will be supported by everybody. To start with, they revert to the old national anthem, which is now the current national anthem in Nigeria. Parliament, by the fact that the president has assented to it, is not something that is new. Old national anthem, like myself and many others, we knew about it. And when the bill was introduced in our own chamber by the Senate leader, he didn't bring it as an executive bill. He didn't say he was anybody. He was the sponsor of the bill, and the bill was subjected to the process of legislation by the Senate. It was debated. He presented a lead debate. It was debated, members made contributions, and it was subjected to a public hearing. That public hearing took place on Monday, and many important, including Dr. Umeh, OFRSAN, he was there to make his own contributions like other people. And there was no dissenting voice. On Tuesday, the report of that public hearing was presented, conveying the and overwhelming acceptance for the reversion to the old hearing. Then we went through it again and then passed. So we subjected it to normal process of lawmaking, that it was done with electric speed. Innovation. And that is a very simple bill. It wasn't a bill that will require 2 years to work on. That is the thing. Then having said that, I will tell you that it is a misconception for people to begin to say something that importance for the National Assembly to legislate on it. The National Assembly is free to legislate on any matter of preference by the public. But the Assembly has abandoned other matters of urgent national importance. We have been dealing with them. Plenaries, insecurity problems, economic problems. We deliberate on them, continue to take motions, and continue to pass motions and pass prayers thereon. So that this one came and people now said, oh, any economic benefit, it will not put food on our table. Therefore, it's not an important bill. It is not correct. I think we should be able to the old national anthem, the contents of that anthem, vis-a-vis the one that was just replaced, that came in 1978. Some people have argued that we don't need that old anthem. It was by the colonial administration. They were the people that prepared it. And why have we not changed the name of Nigeria? Who gave us that name, Nigeria? Is it not the colonial administration during the amalgamation of 1914? Why have we not changed Nigeria to something else? Every Nigeria will come to the table and we are bearing the name Nigeria, Wazobia. And people will come out and I'm coming. Like Wazobia. So maybe Nigeria will be Wazobia. We it to that kind of test and change the name Nigeria. If we retain the name Nigeria, which was given to us by our colonial administration. We don't need to throw away the national anthem that was given to us at independence. What we should look at of that national anthem, the stanza by stanza content of that national anthem suits Nigeria as a nation. In the opening stanza, it says, Nigeria we hail thee, though tongues and tribes and we stand. Don't we speak different tongues? Are we not from different tribes? It's made up of more than 250 ethnic nationalities that speak distinct languages. Before you go into religion divides and so on and so forth. So Nigeria is a complex society. This stanza summarizes our coming together, the whole essence of our different people that were brought together by that amalgamation, and we became one country called Nigeria. So why with the truth told by that first stanza of the national anthem? Have we stopped being Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, Fulanis, Efiks, all the tribes put together, Jukun, Idoma, all of that? We were the same. To be one people that will be united in brotherhood. So anybody should be quarreling with that old national anthem. For me as a person, let me tell you, for me as a person, it's very interesting to me. It says, O God of all creation, O God of all creation, quest, help us to build one nation where no man is oppressed. Where no man is oppressed. Provision for me in that stanza, and it's in accord with section 14 of the present constitution we operate in, federal character principle. Don't oppress anybody. Make Nigeria all the resources in the country, all the opportunities available in this country, make it available. Is right. Let us operate equal rights. For me, looking at Nigeria today, there are so many agitations against the Nigerian state. People cry about marginalization. People cry for one thing or the other, denial of their rights and the inequality of opportunity.
All right. Senator Umeh.
So if we go back to that anthem, let me give you, if we go back to that anthem, any leader of Nigeria or anybody who shall be president of Nigeria tomorrow, or those who are in leadership at any level, if they recite that stanza, they will know the responsibility imposed on Nigeria, a truly united country, by making it even-handed in all decisions they make.
All right. Okay.
They will know the duty the anthem is calling upon to them to discharge.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Senator.
So I
like how, obviously, we know how you voted.
Yes.
When the bill was being debated or when the votes were passed in the House.
Yes.
But two things I want to ask you very quickly. Number one is that I do recognize that you stand on the mandate of the people in the House. That is the senators, the House of Reps. I don't know to what extent conversations or consultations were had with your constituents, bearing in mind the level of impact of this change. It's a symbol of our national identity. So it's one that a number of Nigerians would want to participate in terms of how the decision will play out. To what extent, sir, did you consult with your constituents and maybe other members of the House as well before, in terms of reaching this agreement? And then how well do you think the change of lyrics or singing the words of the anthem would impact change? Would you not think other policies would be more effective in doing this?
It's a representative parliament, and to that extent, every member of the Senate is representing the same in the House of Representatives. When matters are tabled for debate, opinions are taken from members, and the Senate or the House of Representatives. You have represented your people. In terms of whether you went to tell them want us to change from this national former one, I will tell you that the thing is not going to make any in the affairs of the people as such. Apart from reinventing this and commitment and patriotism, which I consider that this present national anthem from the one, it's not hurting anybody. That to revert to the old one has been there for 46 years. Just leave things that are not important and begin to debate a mountain out of a molehill. We have had a national anthem for 46 years. Arise, O compatriots. Has Nigeria the lofty heights we envisage to attain? So that we are going back to the one that has meaning to our essence as a nation. You are quarreling with 46 years.
But
Nigeria has gone from one problem to
the point we're trying to drive out. You yourself just said the words of the anthem, these new words would enable our leaders and the people live together in unity. But you just admitted that 46 years of Nigeria in our rise of compatriots, we haven't reached lofty heights. So what significance?
Yes.
And that's why we talked about the urgency and the need to make it priority. What significance would it have in changing behaviors or what we see currently plaguing the people? Hunger, poverty in the land, lack of jobs, all those things. How will that, why is that a priority? Why was that passed so quickly? And it seemed like the House was so passionate about bringing it to making it a bill so quickly. That's the question a number of Nigerians are asking this morning.
And I'll answer you that. First of all, I've told you the provisions and the stanzas. If the national anthem for only 18 years, 1960 to 1978, and we had this one for 46 years, where even confidence state is waning. People are losing faith in the nation and in the federation. For you to bring back a sense of commitment and feeling of being a citizen of a country, which the first anthem, and I said that the stanza 3, which spoke about having one is oppressed, is very critical in the life of the nation today. Those who made that old national anthem knew that over time, knowing of different people, that there must be tendency along the line for people to begin to dominate others, oppress others. Put it as a prayer to God to help us to build a just nation where no man is oppressed. So many people are
Senator Umeh.
Many people are oppressed in Nigeria today.
Senator Umeh.
Many minorities are oppressed in Nigeria today.
Senator
yes,
Umeh,
yes.
Please, if you want to make arguments...
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Ruben. No, this is Rufai Oseni. If you want to make arguments as regards wordings of the national anthem, it will not sail through. Because the word of Arise O Compatriots Anthem too has very strong words like guide our leaders right, which is most important because our leaders are very directionless. And the reason why we have not reached a lofty height attained is because of you, the political class, and how much you have destroyed this country. But let me give you something that will have been more interesting if we wanted to change. Why don't we revert back or revert to the regional system and proper devolution of power that President Tinubu himself was touting, restructuring all that while? Since you are reverting to national anthem and you are looking for nostalgia of good old days, why don't you revert to that, which a lot of people say is the big problem now? And also, with this national anthem change...
thank you, Rufai.
Hang on a minute, though. He also announced a supplementary budget that will be coming. Why didn't you National Assembly members take out time, or maybe you will ask him when he brings the supplementary budget, President Tinubu, now what did he do with the former budgets? Because he also muted, and I think the main reason why he came apart from the national anthem is the supplementary budget that he wants to bring. Why do you people ask for accountability? Or please ask him for accountability when he finally brings it, as regards how much that budget was spent because of the lot of padding that was exposed by Ningi, same in your National Assembly. I think these are things that are more important to Nigerians. And the fact that, in case you don't know, tomato is gold in the market now. Those are things affecting Nigerians, not national anthem.
Thank you very much. First of all, you don't put the cat before the horse. The horse. The old national anthem we reverted to was in the 60s governments, and a move to that anthem is, if it was the regional government that works for Nigeria, there's no that other reforms and rearrangements will not come as we move on. As it is today, things are to be worked upon in Nigeria. Even the constitution which we are operating today, we the people of Nigeria hereby give ourselves this constitution. Did we give ourselves? We have to take these things step by step. Gradually, we'll go back over time. You don't start everything the same day and conclude it in the same day. So we are thinking about how to rework Nigeria. There are so many things that we must deal with before we get Nigeria back on the right track. And we have just done national anthem. It has created furor. A lot of people have said, oh, this is not the right thing to do. This is not the right thing to do. It's not the priority. By the time you come to say, oh, can we revisit the Constitution? People will say, oh, why are you going into the Constitution? Is that the food we need to eat today? Is that the electricity we need? But these are fundamental structural things we must approach. First of all, Senator, we don't need to delude ourselves. Don't delude ourselves that Nigeria is totally divided now. You need to bring everybody together if we are going to have a country. So a country where there will be unity of purpose will drive the other developmental processes that we are looking for. Senator? If you stay there as an Ijaw man and something happens, an Hausa man or an Igbo man sees it from his own perspective, you are not having a country. Well, so let us go back to that arrangement to have faith in the country before you drive other processes.
Well, Senator, opinion is divided.
So, as you said,
Senator,
Senator, yes, in a democracy, it must be divided. If it's not divided, yes, it must be divided. Yes, it must be divided at all times. Okay. You cannot. If we agree at all times, then we're not thinking.
Okay. Yes. I mean, okay. I get your point. Mixed reactions and all of that. Yeah, but we're trying to wrap up. Just one thing. The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, has advised that the National Assembly should have taken more inputs from the people of Nigeria. And he is on the executive side. Now, is the National Assembly bothered that the chief law officer of the Federation is also on the side of people who are saying, look, the people were not consulted enough. The National Assembly just imposed the will of the executive on the people. Briefly.
Well, the chief law officer, with due respect, is not a lawmaker. The National Assembly members are the lawmakers. When we make laws, they will interpret the laws. The process of lawmaking has a procedure and process, and we have followed that process. It's like himself, as the chief law officer of the Federation, who has gone to the Supreme Court now to get the Supreme Court to make certain orders and declarations as to the administration of the local government system in Nigeria. He should have first of all thought about looking at the Constitution itself, to know how to amend that Constitution, to bring his intentions in line with the provisions of the Constitution. So it is easy to criticize one arm of government and then have a blind eye to the one that is going to deal with. We in the National Assembly are lawmakers. We are not people who implement laws. As far as lawmaking is concerned, anything that is of importance we consider. Nobody can tell us not to legislate on it. We have powers to legislate on it, conferred on the National Assembly by the Constitution. So nobody will prescribe to us what to legislate on and what not to legislate on. And the legislation has a process. We have public hearings. I've told you now that on Monday, the Senate organized a public hearing Michael Zekome attended, and having organized that public hearing, whether you attended or not, is of no consequence, because if you are opposed to what the National Assembly is doing, you come to the public hearing and air your views.
Very well said.
If you don't come and wait for something to be done, yes, you have to participate.
Right.
Legislation is a collective process.
I'm so sorry.
That is why no law can be passed without a public hearing.
Umeh.
Yes. So
thank you so much.
We're
out of time. We're out of time. We need to go. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. I believe your points have been well established. Thank you.